When cartoonist Joe Matt unexpectedly passed away in 2023, it appeared that any hope of seeing new work would die with him. Matt, notoriously slow, had been working on a new issue since the previous issue was published in 2006. After his death, it was discovered that the entire issue was almost complete, and thanks to Matt's cartoonist friends, specifically Chester Brown, Peepshow 15 finally saw print. Matt is brutally honest in his autobiographical style. He talks about all kinds of personal things like his obsession with Asian women, as well as his addiction to pornography and masturbation. While living in Toronto, where he met cartoonists Chester Brown and Seth, he hung out with those guys and they kind of became like this inseparable trio, and this friendship lasted till the end of his life. He also met this girl named Maggie, or at least he calls her Maggie, and he and Maggie developed a serious relationship and eventually moved in together and moved away to New York City. Maggie was also obsessed with the lead singer of the band Weezer, who ironically was a fan of Joe's work. Joe's insecurity couldn't handle that adoration, so this became a big wedge in their relationship that would eventually drive them apart. But the reason for Joe moving to LA was HBO had shown interest in one of his works and wanted to make it into a series. Unfortunately, that dragged on for years and years, and anything never became of it. Ironically, the same time that HBO showed interest in his work is when his girlfriend Maggie broke up with him, and this drove Joe also to a deep depression. There's a point also in the book where Joe talks about meeting this girl who's barely 18 and moving in with her, even though he's in his mid 40s. How much of Joe's work was actual fact, I'm not sure. His friends say a lot of it was based on just, an amalgam of characters and events. One thing's for certain is that Joe Matt was an excellent cartoonist and he will be missed. One thing that I can relate to him is being notoriously slow. Joe took over a decade to produce this last work of his, at least 7 years for sure, and probably longer. And thanks to Chester Brown for inking those last 4 pages. Chester mentioned in an article that for the last 2 years that he knew Joe, he would always ask him, "How are we coming on the last few pages of the book?" He would always say, "Got 4 more pages to ink," and that went on for years. So, man, I can totally relate to how it's tough to sometimes get past those blocks as being an artist. Man, rest in peace, Joe Matt. Well, that's going to do it for this Indie Comics Review. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out and check us out on our Wednesday live stream. So until next time, see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.